Fellas, I'm going to show you literally how to become the best she has ever and will ever have for the rest of her entire life. This basically means, fellas, you are unforgettable and you have permanently imprinted her. Right, I'm going to break this down and show you. Before I show you how to do that, right, I'm going to get really granular in this. I have to explain why this is important. I'm also going to tell you a story. So, I was dating this girl. She's probably the most attractive girl I've ever dated, right? She's a 9.5, 10 out of 10. So you've probably, in your entire life, you've probably seen 2 to 5 girls of this caliber. Probably in your entire life, right? She was in this bucket, right? I read a message she sent to ChatGPT about me. Bear in mind, her ChatGPT knows my fucking name, right? In one of the messages she sent ChatGPT, and she didn't know I've seen this message, but she said, I don't think I'll ever find anyone like him again. And she was talking about like, oh, he's doing all these things, like he never answers my phone, he doesn't text me a lot. And that's obviously, fellas, because I'm working all the time, right? She was asking all these questions about me. Then she was like, I can't leave him because I don't think I'll ever find someone like him again. If you want to create that effect in women, there's a predictable way to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it, right? Here are the benefits of this, fellas, right? Of becoming this guy where she feels like, I can never find someone like him again, right? She's fucking telling ChatGPT that shit and her friends, right? First benefit, this is going to decrease the likelihood of her breaking up with you or her cheating on you. Okay? Why? Because she already feels like she's on thin ice. She's already scared shitless that I'm going to lose him. Why? Because she knows that she can't replace you, or she's going to have a very, very difficult time doing it. What's that going to make her do? Well, fellas, that's gonna eliminate, right? Completely delete every potentiality, or it's going to make it very, very unlikely for her to break up with you, leave you, cheat on you. Why? Because she knows she can't find someone else with you, so she's going to put up with a lot of shit. And she's not going to walk away, right? This is why, fellas, in the past, and I'm not saying this like I'm like the second coming of Christ and I can walk on water. I've made these mistakes as well, fellas. This is why in the past, for example, a girl may have cheated on you, right? Or she may have disrespected you or done some awful thing to you, right? But you still feel like you can't leave her. You're like, I just feel like I can't do life without her. I don't know. I can't find someone like this again. Where? That, and when you feel like that, fellas, she's gonna feel like this, where no matter what he does, I can't leave him. This same girl also said to me, right? Remember, she could have literally any man on earth. She even said to me, right? Even if I found out you cheated on me, I still couldn't leave you, right? Because I've done what I'm going to tell you in this video, right? That's the first benefit. That's the first benefit of this, fellas. Let me do a green tick, right? Wow, colourful. That's the first benefit, fellas. It's going to decrease the likelihood of breaking up with you or cheating on you. Fellas, the second benefit is if you ever do break up, right, or leave her, or you just stop being together for some whatever reason, just know that you have her soul. In fact, I'm going to get back to the soul point in a minute. This is going to be a separate benefit, right? We're going to get back to this in a minute. If you ever do break up with her, or if you ever do leave her, just know that, and this is what I love, this is fucking Forsop's massive ego speaking, every man that comes after you, she will compare to you. And again, I'm going to give you a very personal example from my life. My first love, Forsop's first love, right? Every girl that I date after her, or I dated after her, and still to this day, right? I'm not going to bullshit you. I still compare them to her, right? My first true love. I still compare her to any other girl I date, right? That's called an imprint. And obviously, fellas, I'm not sitting here like crying every night, like, oh my God, no. I broke up with her at the end of the day, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she's imprinted me, right? She was my first love. And fellas, the way you can do this is when you do what I'm going to tell you in this video, you will imprint her, right? And she will compare you to every man that comes after. She'll be like, oh, he's not as good as Force. Oh, he's not as good as John. He's not as good as Mike. He's not as good as whatever, right? Oh, but Force did like this, but John did like this, but Jeff did like this, but Jerry. She'll compare you to every other guy that comes after you, right? And in my opinion, that's quite a nice feeling. That just might be my ego speaking, but I want to be the best at anything I do. I want to be number one, right? And when you do what I'm going to tell you, when you follow my tactics, right? And even the stuff I talk about in the other videos, fellas, when you do all of this stuff, you become number one in her mind, right? Number one out of everyone she's ever been with and everyone she ever will be with. The third benefit, fellas, of behaving this way, right? Of doing this, right? Is you get her soul. And this is when I say get her soul, fellas, this is very, very similar to the above point, right? She becomes obsessed with you, like obsessed, right? Unhealthily obsessed, right? Infatuated with you, right? Just totally all consumed with you. I'll give you another example, right? I broke up with this girl, right? And she, on WhatsApp, right? You can see when someone was last online, right? And it become clear to me, right? I got informed that she was going on WhatsApp like she wasn't sleeping. She just kept checking when I was online, right? She wasn't sleeping. She was waking up in the middle of the night, literally every 30 minutes. She couldn't sleep because I left her because we broke up, right? And that obsession continued for a while, right? I had her soul. I had her fucking soul, right? That's what I mean. She was totally infatuated with me, totally obsessed with me. All of these things, right? And that's what you're going to get when you behave in this one. That's another benefit. When you have her soul, fellas, a benefit of that is, well, of course, she's going to compare every man, right, that comes after you to you. But also, fellas, she'd be willing to do literally anything to please you or to make you happy or to get you back, right? That's what it means when you have her soul, okay? Another thing I want to tell you is if you break up with her, she will struggle to recover, right? She will struggle to recover, meaning she may not be able to date for a while again. Or if she does, you'll be in the back of her mind again, right? And this will take her a very, very long time to overcome, right? If you become the sort of man that has the capacity to imprint her, that has the capacity to get her soul, it's very difficult for her to overcome. As a note, fellas, for this to work, right? For you to imprint her, for you to get her soul, right? For you to be that guy where, like the one that got away. Like it's a common saying is like, oh, the girl that got away. Fuck that. It's the guy that got away. You want to be the guy that got away that she couldn't have, right? You have to break up with her because, fellas, if she breaks up with you, right? Then she broke up with you. Like she obviously didn't want to be with you. You have to be the one to end it. That's a requirement, right? You have to end it to get her soul. If she ends it, then none of this matters because she ended it. She didn't want to be with you. But the point is, fellas, like what you should have is, let's say let's draw a graph, right? And this is her desire. I don't know what the x-axis is going to be. Just leave that blank. But let's say this is her desire, right? You want to end it here at the peak, right? What I should have done, I should have done something like this so there was a more obvious peak. But in fact, I can still do that. But you want to end it. Oh my God! Hold on, fellas. You get the point, right? You want to end it up here, right? What most men are going to do, fellas, they'll end it down here. Or they won't end it. She'll fucking end it at that point. You want to end it up here. Why, fellas? Because as you can see, this is the axis for desire. Desire is at its peak. So then when you end something, right, when there's still massively higher desire, well then you're going to want to come back for more, right? So that's why you must end it, right? Because if she's only going to end it when it's down here. She's not going to end it when it's up here, no matter what. When her desire for you is this high, when her attraction to you is this high, that's what you have to do. You have to end it when her desire is really high, right? What I've just talked about, fellas, about like when to end it and about desire and stuff. This is a component of what I call advanced seduction, right? And this is a very, very like just one like scratching the surface of fucking advanced seduction. There's so much more under here. If you want to learn advanced seduction, I've recently opened up my mentorship program, which this is the first time I've opened it up in 3 fucking years, right? Basically, fellas, what you're going to get is you're going to get one-to-one access to me where you can ask me any question you want. You get me to teach you anything. You basically have access to my brain. You can say, Force, I'm dealing with this situation. Here's everything here's all the context, and then I'm going to give you an answer on exactly what to do. So if you want that, fellas, click the top link in the description, fill in an application. And if you don't, please don't apply because it's a lot of work from me. So if you do want it, great, apply. I'd love to help you. But if you don't, please don't apply. It's a lot of work from me. Anyway, let's go to the next point. When you right, initiate the breakup, and in a minute, fellas, we're going to get to sort of really we're going to get to the meaty part in a minute. We're going to get to the 2 key, I'm not sure why that's there. We're going to get to the 2 key components of how do you actually, oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? We're going to get to the 2 key components of how you actually imprint her, of how you actually become the sort of guy where you're the number one, right? The best she's ever had, right? She compares every guy that comes after you to you, right? We're going to get to that in a minute. There's 2 keys, but the key is, fellas, you have to initiate the breakup, right? If you don't, this won't work. Anyway, let's move on. Right. When you do initiate the breakup, sorry, I've already covered that point, right? Let's go to the next point. Right. Fellas, the key to imprinting, right? There is a single key, right? The key. It's how you make her feel. Now, this, fellas, how you make her feel is the only thing she cares about. Only, right? I'm not exaggerating that. That is the only thing she cares about. If you want to imprint her, right, permanently, to make her compare to every other guy that comes after you, this is all that matters. How you make her feel, right? Some of you guys are probably thinking, well, Force, I need to be some fucking multi-millionaire rich, 6'5", fucking 1% body, fucking negative 5% body fat. I don't know how that's possible, but 1% body fat, right? Bodybuilder, handsome, looks max, riz max, all this bullshit, right? No. You cannot imprint you cannot imprint a woman with money, looks, any bullshit like that. All comes down to how you make her feel. Now, there are a few ways you can do this, right? Obviously, there's a lot of components, fellas, right? But there's two that are more important than any others, right? The first is what I call seductive charm. And the second is advanced seduction. Okay, so there's 2 components to it. One is seductive charm, 2 is advanced seduction. We scratched the surface on advanced seduction earlier about like tactically when do you end the relationship and how you have to leave. That is a very, very basic component of advanced seduction, right? To give you a general idea. Seductive charm, on the other hand, fellas, is how you interact, right? And these 2 things together, fellas, are how you make a woman, how you influence how a woman feels. These are the only two major things, right? Seductive charm is how you interact, right? Your body language, your vocal tone, the words you say, how you look, right? How you carry yourself, how you make her feel. You make her feel cool, calm, relaxed, safe around you, right? You spike her emotions. Then advanced seduction is more of the like sort of tactical, like psychological, like CIA fucking brainwashing tactics. That's what this is, right? You have to be good at both. You have to be good at both. And if you are good at both, fellas, this is the only way you imprint a woman. Seductive charm and advanced seduction. So fellas, this is a fucking monster component, right? There's so much under here, right? But the conglomerate of it, fellas, is simply how you interact, right? How you behave around her, right? It's not just how you behave to her, but how you behave around her, right? How you interact with the world when you're with her, right? Are you assertive? Are you confident? Do you go after things? Are you ambitious? All of these things, right? Basically, fellas, the higher level of seductive charm is the traits you have. And these traits convert into behaviors, right? And when I say behaviors, that means body language, vocal tonality, and then verbal communication, right? Your body language, right? Your vocal tonality is how you speak, right? The way you speak. And your verbal communication is the actual words. Right? And obviously, all these sections are fucking monster. They're very, very detailed. Right? But that's what it ladders up to, right? Seductive charm, fellas, it's one big word, right? It's one big sort of one big way of behaving that is comprised of, I think last time I checked, it's like around 65 traits. And then these 65 traits that make up seductive charm, right, are broken down into behaviors, right? And when you exhibit these behaviors, fellas, this is the optimum, meaning the best, right? The perfect, right, way to interact with a woman. This is how women want to be interacted. This is the hypothetical maximum. This is the hypothetical perfection of interaction, right? There are obviously a few other components of seductive charm. Obviously, you've got your bedroom performance, right, which is very important, right? Then obviously you've got your looks, right? Your physique. Really just your physical appearance. Then obviously if you go outside seductive charm, you've obviously got money / success. Now, like I said earlier, fellas, you cannot, right? It's physically impossible to imprint a woman with money or success. You cannot do it. It cannot happen. If you try to do this and you just have money, you just have success, all you will do is she will manipulate you for money. She won't want to be with you for you. She'll want to be with you for what you have, right? Your resources. You do not want that, because what will happen is, fellas, she'll cheat on you. She'll leave you. She won't really love you, right? It has to be this. It has to be seductive charm. That's how you make her want you, not for what you have, just to be around you, right? How you make her feel. Okay? So we covered sort of what seductive charm is, right? It's the optimum method of interacting, right? Then obviously, fellas, you've got the other components, right? Which is your bedroom performance, right? Then obviously you've got your looks and physical, right? Like I said, fellas, the most important thing is how you behave, right? This sort of stuff, the traits, your behaviors, right? How you interact with her. Then obviously bedroom performance is also important, and then your looks and physical appearance are also important. When you have all of these, right? So let's just say seductive charm, right? Which is the way you interact, right? The way you make her feel. And obviously you've got advanced seduction, which, like I said, is sort of the psychological tactics, like when do you give her space? How do you create uncertainty? How do you make her obsessed with you? When do you give reinforcement? When do you take reinforcement? All of that sort of stuff, right? So this is like the psychology. right? The obsession, all of that sort of stuff, right? Then these are obviously the two most important components. Then underneath that, which sort of comes under seductive charm, but I'm just going to pull them out just so it's a bit more clear. Obviously, get your bedroom skills, which, by the way, this is not hard to improve. It's very simple, right? It's not some fucking magic performance. No. If you get this right, if you get seductive charm right, this doesn't matter. But I'm still going to include it. You get your bedroom skills, and you've obviously got your physical appearance, right? The game is, fellas, you remember, like I said, you want to become the number one best she has ever had. Well, how do you become the number one best she's ever had? You have to be brilliant at all of these things. Only when you're exceptional at all of these things, that's when you become number one. There's no magic shortcut. You just have to become really good at all of these things, right? Which makes you rare, which makes you irreplaceable. But like I said, these two are the most important by far, especially seductive charm. Seductive charm, right? The way you interact with her, there is nothing that comes close to being as important as this. Nothing. You have to get that right. And fellas, seductive charm, if you want to get more tactical on it, you can watch my other videos, right? I break down how to actually tactically interact with women. I don't tell you be confident. I don't tell you be charismatic. No. I don't do any of that bullshit. I don't tell you be seductive, be sexy, be attractive. No. I tell you the tactical behaviors, right? How to do it. How to do it. Fellas, this was more of a high level video, right? Where I sort of break down concepts. Okay, where I'm not telling you, okay, do this body language, you say this word, speak in this way, do this tactic, pull back. No, I'm not telling you that. The value of these videos, fellas, is it gives you a more clear understanding of reality, right? Of how I see things, of how the world really works, of how female attraction really works. Because now that you understand this, you know exactly why and therefore how you can become the number one in her mind for her entire life. You know how you can become irreplaceable. I've broke down the framework. Now you understand this, then you can go and seek out the tactics from my other videos for how to implement this. So these sorts of videos, although they're not like top 5 ways to be attractive to women, they're all bullshit, by the way. They don't matter. This sort of content is the stuff that will change your life. And if you're like, Force, what the fuck are you talking about? This, you didn't tell me what to do. Just rewatch the video, make notes. You will understand when you become advanced at this stuff and you get results. You follow my system. You follow what I say. You get results. You will see why these sorts of videos I've just walked you through now are so important, because they show you how things really work, and then you get an understanding. And because you have that understanding, then you can apply this stuff and you'll get the results. Fellas, I will see you in the next video. If you want to get into my one-to-one mentorship, I'm telling you, it will be the best decision you've ever made. If you don't apply it. It's a lot of work from me. I don't want to bring on anyone that doesn't really want to do it. Right, so apply right now. I'm not sure how long I'll keep this open for. Like I said, I only had it open 3 years ago, then I closed it literally in a few days. And this is the first time I'm reopening it. So if you want to get in that, apply now before I close it. And if you don't, I don't give a fuck anyway. Fellas, I hope you enjoy the video. I will see you in the next one.